I am Dakshita Garhwal and I have recently cleared the Assistant Labour Commissioner examination, which is also known as Junior Timescale Central Labour Services under Ministry of Labour and Employment. It is an A-grade gazetted services and the examination is conducted by UPSC. I was fortunate enough to secure All India rank 13 and hence I will be sharing my insights and my strategy for the same. Firstly, coming up to the resources part, I very religiously stick upon on the syllabus and I made sure that I am not deviating from any point which is given over there. So for the very first part, which is the Constitution of India, I read this book called M. Lakshmikant, which is a very famous book for developing a better understanding. But along with it, I also read the bare text of the Constitution. The bare text of the Constitution is better for a word by word understanding because there are some questions which may be trappy and which may be a little tricky, and word by word understanding makes sure that you are not nothing is missing your eye in that case. So this was all for the Constitution part. Further coming up to the labor laws part, which is the most extensive and the most important part of the whole syllabus. So for the labor laws, I would advise that you read the bare acts, which are the original ones, because many coaching materials and many explanations which are given in the book, either they are too much which are not required for the examination, or either they lack something which is really important and given in the provisions very straight away and very directly. So reading bare acts is definitely one of the key. And I understand that it might be difficult for people who are not from law background to comprehend these bare acts in the first go, and it may be very difficult. So complement them with some YouTube videos. I referred this channel under the name Prabhakar Shakti. So this was a fabulous channel where ma'am teaches labor laws, and she's a fabulous teacher. So I referred to her videos and read the bare acts on my own and prepared the notes after doing these two basic things, nothing more than this. So I think it was enough to develop good understanding. And also when I was watching her lectures, she was pinpointing some important areas, core areas of specific laws. So it helped me prioritize the areas which I have to put more effort in memorizing or understanding. So this was all about the labor laws part. Coming to the next part, which is a topic called trade union movement. Although this is a very small topic and 5 to 7 questions might be asked in the examination, but you should not miss it because it is given in the syllabus, and nothing that is given in the syllabus should be missed out. So for this, I referred this document which is given on the Vivigiri Institute of Labour. There is a document on trade union movement where they have given some basic timelines and some basic events which went through the movement, which are important when we read this topic. And further, I referred to books for this. One is S.C. Srivastav and one is P. Sinha. Although these two books are very extensive and they are read for net JRF purpose or some for the purpose where better understanding or better much depth knowledge is required. But I just read the chapters of trade union movement from these two books, which is hardly 12 to 15 pages, and I consolidated my own notes after reading all these sources. Again, the notes were not more than 10 to 12 pages, so it contained everything which was important with regard to this topic. Coming up next, which is current affairs and general mental ability part. I've often observed that these topics are neglected because people think that not more than 20 to 22 questions will be asked from this. But I would advise that one must not miss these topics, specifically for the reasons because other people might not be doing it, but it might give you an edge. So for current affairs, I read this book called Speedy Current Affairs. You have to go very static when it comes to current affairs for the written part, because they ask very one-liner things. So Speedy Current Affairs was enough, and I read it, the 1-year compilation of Speedy Current Affairs, which was quite enough to deal the topics that are asked here. Further, coming to the general mental ability part, I listed down some 15 to 20 topics like number system, permutation, combination, ratio, proportion, and topics like that. So I made a list of these, and I practiced some basic formulas, basic questions on these. And further, I analyzed the questions which are asked in UPSC, specifically the other examinations which are conducted by UPSC. So there is a pattern in which they ask questions regarding general mental ability, which is a little different from what other examinations put up. So I would advise that you go through the question papers of UPSC, other examination, whether it is CSE or CDS, any other examination. So it might help you in developing an understanding on what UPSC focuses on specifically. So this was all about the whole syllabus part. And one more thing I would like to mention about the case laws which were asked in the recent examination. So I had this in my head before the examination that this might be an important topic, because of course the laws are being asked. So case laws might be important. And so I did not go very extensive on this part. I referred basic YouTube, basic Google research, and made a list of some 30 to 40 case laws which are important and which are the landmark ones when it comes to labor scenario in the country. So this was all, and it also helped me in the examination in dealing some of the questions. There is no end to what you can do about the case laws, but I think the basic ones, if you do the basic coverage, will be sufficient and is enough to give you confidence. Another thing which I wanted to discuss is about the methodology of preparing for this examination, because it becomes important that you're focusing on the quality of your studies. So previous year questions is really important because it gives you a fair idea about what areas are important in a particular law. For example, I would refer this Telegram channel called Titans by Shubham Singh. So on this particular Telegram channel, they made compilations of different laws. And the questions on those particular laws that have been asked in all the examination where there is a similar syllabus code that is followed. So for example, if there is minimum wage act, so all the questions which are asked in any other examination, not just UPSC, but any PSU examination or even NET JRF. So all the questions which are asked over there are compiled together in one PDF. So there are several PDFs of different acts. So you can refer these, and you can have a fair idea about what are the important areas in a particular law, and it is really helpful. Further, I would like to tell that test series do have a role. You can refer any test series which is available in the market, and make sure that you are giving at least 9 to 10 tests before appearing in the final exam, because you have to strategize and you have to make sure that your time management and your strength and weaknesses are very well known to you when you are attempting the paper. For example, for me, I realized that I have to attempt the mathematics questions, the general mental ability question in the first hand itself, because I cannot attempt it on the later half of the paper, because my mind used to get really consumed up till then, and I was a little weak in maths. So I made sure that I am attempting those questions on general mental ability in the first half itself. So you can have similar observations about yourself on how you're going to attempt the paper. So it is really important because the paper itself was really lengthy this time also. Reading takes a lot of time, and then you have to analyze every option and everything and finally come to a right conclusion. So I would advise that you practice enough. Further, one more thing I would like to discuss about the memorization of all these facts, because there is a lot to remember and there are a lot of overlapping provisions in different laws that we have to really learn by heart, because questions are asked in a very specific context. So for example, there is a minimum age for child labor, so it is different across different acts. So there are some formulas of calculating different things like gratuity or bonus or something else across all the acts. So you have to make sure that you really remember all these clauses, and sometimes you have to also remember the exact section, exact schedule, and definition clause by clause. So what I did is that for every act I made notes, 3 to 4 pages notes, and I used to stick it on the wall. So across all the walls of my room there were papers stuck of all the acts which are going to be asked in this examination. So what it used to do is that it used to create a visual memory in my head. Visual memory, as in, I used to remember that, okay, on the right side of the wall there is this Industrial Dispute Act which is written, which is stuck. On the left side of the wall there is Minimum Wages Act. So this visual memory came to be really helpful in the examination when I used to see the question in the examination hall, because it is very natural that you might be confused in different provisions and different definitions. So make sure that you have some strategy to really memorize it, and so that the retrieval time in the examination hall is reduced and is minimum. So this was my way of doing it. You can have similar methods, but make sure that you are having something which is very convenient for you to memorizing all these clauses. So this was all about the written part. Now coming to the second part, which is the interview. So firstly, I would like to extend my heartful thanks to Career Quest Institution and Sanjeev Kabir sir, who really have a big role to play while preparing me for the interview. Sanjeev sir's analysis is really good, and he understands the candidate, assessing their strengths and weaknesses, and giving very pinpointed suggestions in a very short frame of time. So the candidate has a lot of time to work on their own, and also they have an expert opinion of their personality before presenting themselves in front of the UPSC board. So my preparation, I divided it into three phases. The first was the personal preparation, the preparation of the personal questions. Questions like, what is the meaning of your name, where are you coming from which college you have graduated, and hobbies that you might have mentioned in your application form, and similar things like that. So preparation of these personal questions become really important because it really defines who you are, and it is very important to be very confident and very comfortable in answering these questions, because if you are not able to justify what you're doing and justify what you are, it might not really give a good impression. So make sure that you discuss the answers to these, and you really have this psychological preparation in your head that what you are in this whole process. So it will really help you in tackling even the challenging questions which are put up from the board. So you have to have a very clear and very confident justification for everything that you are. So I think there are some list of 15 to 20 questions which the institute might give you. So or you can just prepare it on your own as well. Basic questions about yourself, about your personality. So it can be put up to you, and I think it is an area where you can really feel secure, because it is all about yourself. You do not have to have any external knowledge for this, but it really helps in building the very foundational base for presenting yourself in front of the interview board. The second part of my preparation consisted of course, the labor laws and whole labor scenario. So the notes that I prepared for the written examination were helpful, and apart from that, I was complementing all of this preparation with current affairs knowledge. For almost 2 months, I read two newspapers, one the Hindu and one the Indian Express. You might refer one also, there is no big deal, but make sure that you are focusing on topics which understands the labor and employment scenario of the country. For example, if there are articles on unemployment rate, or the economy section of the newspaper becomes really important over here. So anything which is related to economics or labor scenario, new terms like gig workers, moonlighting, contract labor, and work from home, workers' participation ratio, women's participation in the whole workforce, or of course the industrial safety standards which are going on, and if there is any court judgment, or if there is any committee report or any data specifically which is dealing with all those labor scenario and labor and employment scenario of the country. So you have to keep your eye on these kind of articles. So I think that would suffice for current affair preparation. And you can also keep an eye on the several other topics also, whether it is environment or whether it is polity or anything which is related to your subject matter that you have mentioned in your application form. So questions might be asked over there on these subjects as well, because I remember at our time the farmers protest was going on. So the questions were put up on farmers' protest as well, because you cannot you cannot have this restricted mindset that only questions related to labor will be asked. Of course, you have to keep your focus on the labor and employment scenario, but then also you have to make sure that you are also uh, keeping an eye on the other topics as well. Apart from that, you can visit the the website of Ministry of Labor and Employment, because this can help you in giving an insight about the recent initiatives which is going on in the country. And you have to have a knowledge about this, because there can be direct questions on these matters. The third part of my preparation dealt with miscellaneous and my subject related issues, because I was a law graduate and I was also pursuing my graduation on sociology. So these two things were mentioned in my application form as well, and there were questions on sociology. They asked me about Maslow's law of hierarchy. So there might be questions about your graduation subject as well. So you need to have preparation of some basic topics and some current affair related topics, and also link them with this niche of labor and employment scenario. So this can overall give you a proper uh, uh, back uh, back end preparation. So I think this much is enough, and if you will do all of this, it will already be a lot. And focus, of course, keep your focus on the basic static things that you have already covered for the written examination part. You do not have to, of course, remember the very nitty-gritty of every act, like section numbers or specific formulas or something, but you need to have the basic knowledge, the basic things, like if there is any definition which is being asked, or if there is anything, the basic essence of any act is asked. So you might be able to present it and give an overview of the same. You must not come across as someone who has not read the basic acts. So the basic knowledge would suffice. You do not have to go very deep into it, and do not have to worry about that at all. And of course, you can always say sorry. You can apologize for anything which you cannot remember or which you cannot recall, because they do not expect you to know everything. They just are assessing your personality, how you are listening and how you are responding, and whether you're responding to the questions that are being asked rather than what you want to respond. So all these kind of basic things which reflect a lot about one's personality. So you must come across a person, you must come across as person who is of course well read, well prepared, and who can take up this responsibility if given basic training. So because this is a position of civil services, and you will be assessed on those parameters. So make sure that you really prepare yourself well on every aspect. And the major thing, the major underlying thing which I felt is the psychological preparation. What is it in your head, and what is it in your psychology? If you're fearing and you're having a lot of nervousness in your head, being nervous is very fine. It is nothing to be ashamed of. Nobody going for an UPSC interview would not be nervous. So it is very fine, but you must be confident, psychologically confident, that okay, if there is any difficult question, if there is something, if there are some heated moments in the interview where it is going where do you feel that it is going in a grilling manner, so okay, this is how I have to respond, this is how I have to maintain my composure, I have to stay calm, I have to listen to them, and I have to apologize, or I can ask for them, ask for a chance to think upon some matters. So all these basic things you have to keep in mind while preparing yourself. And it is of course, it is not a very big deal. All you have to do is just be calm and be comfortable in whatever you are, whoever you are. Coming to the other aspects of interview, like dressing and all, you have to wear whatever you feel very comfortable in, and you should feel confident, and you should wear something which is weather appropriate in that sense. And the language part, you can speak in any language, whether Hindi or English. It is totally up to you. And the only thing that matters is that how well you are expressing yourself. So if you feel that you're good at expression in Hindi, then you might opt Hindi in speaking. So in fact, in my own interview, I remember there were some one or two questions which I answered in Hindi, because they were coming, they were asked to me in Hindi only. So I also responded in Hindi. So you can also do the same, or you can even ask for the permission that if you're not comfortable in English, you can simply just ask for permission that you want to speak in this particular language, Hindi, and I don't think that this is going to make any difference, and you just have to come across as a good candidate. That's it. Language doesn't matter overall. So this was my whole strategy, this was my whole preparation for this particular examination. And if there are any more queries, any more doubts regarding this, you might put that in the comment section and I would try to respond to them. And just be very calm. It is an examination definitely which is of competitive nature. So just do the basic things. The basics must be really strong. Do not get overwhelmed, and do not get in this fear of missing out. Just stick to the syllabus, stick to the basics, and you will be very fine in this preparation. So this was all. I wish you all the very best, and I hope you are preparing really well for if you are preparing for this examination. Good luck, and thank you so much for listening to me.